Good morning, sports fans. It is me, Pacific, and yeah, I'm wearing this hat this morning, not because it's cold, which it is. I woke up and all my hair is bedhead, man. I'm gonna get ready soon to go off this morning to church, go for my walk around a cold frozen lake full of geese and ducks, and start my day. Wasn't even gonna do a video this morning because I look like a mess. But a viewer wrote in a very nice comment on my videos, and he said, could you please discuss the obsession with cell phones and our cell phone culture? I thought, great idea. Let's talk about it. First, let me tell you about my evolution, so to speak, of the cell phone world. I was one of those that said, I'll never get a cell phone. When they first came out in the 90s, it was usually a few women in the store that wanted to talk very loud and walk up and down the aisles saying, notice me. It was all about them. And we used to think, oh yeah, I got a cell phone, I'm cool, look at me. Big deal, get a life. Then 2000s come along, everybody's got one. And I noticed for a long time people are on the cell phone driving where it's legal, and they're blowing through red lights, they're driving bad, they're not using their turn signals, one hand on the wheel, one hand on the cell phone. I have even talked in my pickup on my cell phone, because it's legal in the state here, but I'm not running red lights. I am looking in my mirrors and I'm watching what I'm doing. However, I am going to say, when you're on that cell phone, you are taking away attention from your driving. I limit it as much as possible. And I try, if I have to get in too much of an intense thinking conversation with somebody, I say, you know what, let me get where I'm going and I'll call you. Or I'll pull off, shut the truck down, and have a chat. What I want to talk about today is the fact that women say they can multitask, and I want to talk about that. They may be able to multitask in the office and at home, but I have not seen them able to multitask with a cell phone and an automobile. They just can't do it. And women, when they are on the phone, they're more thinking about what they're talking about than that car that they're driving. We talk about gun control in this country, but we don't do anything about a driver who's not in control of their vehicle because they're too engrossed in their phone conversation. Something wrong with that. And I am going to say something about these young women today and their texting. You women are utterly selfish, and you ought to be charged with murder if you hit and kill somebody. It's sad when I have to go through the state of Montana this last March and I see digital signs all along quiet little highways in between towns in the middle of nowhere. Please don't text and drive, stay alive. Really? I cannot text on my phone and pay attention to my driving. That is beyond ridiculous. But it's these little girls, 20s, 30s, and I don't get it. I'm going to say something about our narcissistic, self-centered culture. Virtually every young woman I see, whether it's at the mall, whether it's at a bus stop, whether it's in their car, their life is so important that they can't get off of their Facebook or whatever it is they're looking at. They're sitting there scrolling down, and I've noticed that women have found their romance with technology, that they're obsessed with it. Even in the break room at the workplace, I see the women with their phones. Their Facebook is so important, and they post little sayings and they post little cutesy pictures, and they're living an entire life of fluff and vanity on the internet. The same people who are so caught up in their cyber world aren't the very nicest people in the real world. They have no manners, they don't have much social skills, and they don't want to, get along with society, so to speak. The comment was made to me about $600 iPhones. Why would anybody spend hundreds of dollars for something this big and then lose it, drop it in the toilet, run over it with their car? I worked at a call center, and a guy called me saying to another customer, or another call center agent, can I get a refund because I dropped my phone in the toilet? Really? You dropped it in the toilet? You expect us to pay for that? Sorry. We used to be taught, don't eat while talking on the phone. I'm guilty of doing that, but I usually tell the person that's talking to me, I'm sorry, I'm eating my dinner. Is that a problem? Oh, no. We're hungry for conversation. Now people talk on the toilet, and you get to hear all the play-by-play of them on the bathroom, unless they're more discreet about it. We've lost our manners on the phone. That's not good. And when we get into a car, we really need to hang that phone up and pay attention to our driving. More accidents and fatalities are being caused by people texting and being on those phones. That's wrong, folks. When you get in that car, you're driving a weapon. You're driving a 4,000 to 5,000 pound, or in the case of commercial motor vehicle people who have no business being on a cell phone. If I'm on a cell phone in a CDL vehicle, it is big point violation. And if your employer catches you doing it in a school bus, fired, and you should be. Somebody told me that they've seen drivers talking on their cell phones in the school bus. I tell you what, if I ever see it, I'm turning the sucker in. That's wrong. Don't want to be a company narc. That's a safety issue. Our society has become very vain. We spend more time talking. Facebook. There's more communication going on. There's more money spent on communications today. And my question is, viewers, what are we really saying? What are kids doing on their cell phones? Want to see my boobie? Want to see my nipple? Want me to sext you a picture? We have descended into a life of crass and classlessness. And now, just as the world around me always has been, whether it's the latest movie, I remember watching a certain member of my family buy our kid every toy, every CD, everything connected with whatever. Example, Cars comes out, let's buy all the Cars toys, the Cars music, the Cars sheets, the Cars shoes, the Cars shirt, and the Cars toilet seat cover, and the Cars slippers. And so it is with cell phones. The release of the iPhone has made obsolete the one that just came out 4 months ago. But we got to have the newest. Let me show you my phone, viewers. Check this out. Yep, one of those cheap flip phones. $45 a month, straight talk. Oh yes, they're not paying me to do this, but I want to tell you, if you want to have a good, reasonable phone bill, straight talk plan. You can get it at Walmart. You can do an auto refill where you put your credit card online and they just automatically get you every month. $45, unlimited local and long distance, and unlimited texting. I don't need internet on my phone. That's what this laptop is for. Why do people need their internet while they're driving down the road? Even me, I can put away my computer stuff while I go to work. I got a job to concentrate on. And I have a Facebook account, but I do nothing with it. I got to download some pictures I downloaded on there from Hong Kong, and once I get them out of there, I'm shutting the whole business down. I'm a social person, not a social network person, except in YouTube. I like to communicate my views to people who are thinking, man, he believes this too. To stimulate thought, to get people to stop and question their culture, question themselves, question their beliefs, not to cause rebellion and malcontents, but to get people to really start thinking again. We used to do that. $600 for an iPhone? Really? For what? I watch a woman come in every day with her tablet. Doesn't say hello to everybody. She comes into work. Deep. These women are so narcissistic today. They're obsessed with their little technology. They've married it. That's their boyfriend. That's their man. And it's disgusting. We're worse than little children. When I lived in Hong Kong, Apple has a store over there right in central Hong Kong. It is big, folks. Whenever they release a new iPhone, the Chinese locals camp out on the sidewalk, sleeping bags and everything. And they fall asleep on the sidewalk to be the first one in the store to get this. And then some of the pirates out there send their domestic helpers and several of their friends so that they can each get one of those new iPhones. They pay them for their time, get the iPhones, they turn around and sell it for a markup. So you got pirates sitting on that too. Same within the U.S. I would like to take all these people. I've said this about junior high girls and boys that just think they're so cool, stuck up and live this comfortable, hand me everything life, get on the bus, you don't have to thank your driver, because everything is done for them and they just think they can poo all over society and be a jerk and ask for more. I'd like to take these women that think they're so hotsy-totsy with their little tablets, strip them of everything, airlift them out in the middle of the desert, drop all these people off. They'll be back in a month, if anybody's left, pick up the survivors. I want to see how they're going to do it. Can't Google any instructions. Can't Google Earth themselves, figure out where they are. Can't call anybody for help. I'd like to know how these people would survive. Get water, get food, team together to survive. Because the only way people are going to survive out there is if they really start going, okay, we got a problem, folks. What are we going to do? Culture today, our technological culture today has alienated us. It has sent us a message loud and clear. We don't need anybody. A woman wrote in commenting on my feminism as destroying Western woman, and she said, I'm a powerful woman. I could win an argument with you with my brain tied behind my back. I was dumb enough to respond and say, oh, don't tie your brain behind your back, bring it because you're going to need it. And please, can you offer me more of a challenge? No response. Somebody else responded to her and said, you know what? You women put us men down, but you fail to remember something. Our justice system, our court system, our semi-truck system, our commerce system, all the systems of the world, especially in American culture, are pretty much run by males. Yeah, we're bashed all the time. If a woman really hates men and thinks we're so evil, stop buying a cell phone that was made, designed, put together by males, delivered by males, installed in the store by males, that the store in the mall you go into was built by males. How many women do you see on a construction crew? Seriously? My point is, the same thing applies to technology. You've lied to yourself and said, well, I don't need you. You don't need me right now, honey. But what if I'm the only person passing you 200 miles in between small towns? Excuse me. What if I'm the only person and I think, you know, women are so rude, so hostile, I'm not going to stop. You're not going to like it, are you? Our society is going to learn the hard way that when everything crashes, when the economy goes south, when things aren't so good, you're going to be begging for somebody to help you. Whether it's some geeky looking guy with thick glasses or not, it isn't going to matter. You go back to the 50s and the 40s in this country, people needed each other. Neighbors helped neighbors. The old saying, a barn raising, somebody's house would burn down in the old days, and the neighbors in the church would get together and they'd raise up walls and say, we need to build a proper house. Dad and his family lost their home and their kids have no place to stay. They'd put up a house in 24 hours. Where is that spirit? I don't need an iPhone. I will not buy one. If somebody gives me one, great. I don't need all that stuff. Great, you can check the weather in minutes. You can check this in seconds. I mean, who cares? We're a vain, self-centered, narcissistic culture that's bought into a whopping materialistic lie. Gotta have it, gotta have it, gotta have it. Americans, you need to look up the word consumerism, and you need to really let that sink in. Consumerism is not a word that means contentment. It is not a word where you hit a final end of the road resting place. Consumerism is a continual quest for more, 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 more. Viewers, yesterday I had $1,300 worth done on my truck. New shocks, new front brakes, new ball joints. 17-year-old truck, some things were getting tired. I was appalled at the price. I thought, man, does it really cost this much? Yeah, labor rates, $80 to $100 an hour. It was Midas. They did a good job. I have no problem with them. I'm just appalled at the price of things today. Had to get it done. I'm on break. I had already told myself, this break, you need to get your truck some attention. spent time chasing gals and chasing this and going to work. You better take care of your ride or it ain't going to take care of you. Why am I saying this? We don't need this other stuff. Do you really have to be on Facebook in the middle of the day on your phone? The screen's too small, for one thing. And it's funny. I have watched people just get on the bandwagon to have the newest gadget. And I find that those same people aren't the most friendly to people in the real world. Somehow we have crossed over from real to virtual. And the sad thing is if you watch people today and their manners go downhill and their social skills become more inept, we got to ask ourselves, where is this going to end? You know, it's funny. When you go to Rome, you go to Greece, you go to places like Corinth and stuff like that, no longer there, but the ruins are there, you can piece together a history. If our culture goes down, 3,000 years are going to go by, the plastic cabinet, the cell phone, the laptop, none of that's going to be around. It's going to be gone. Nobody's going to be able to figure out what our culture was all about. There's nothing, there's no hard drives. There's nothing left. And it's interesting. We've built an entire world on cyber reality, on fluff, that should the power go out, should the satellites quit working, all gone. Facebook gone, everything gone. We live our lives in virtual. What do I think about cell phones? I think they're a great invention. When you're out in the middle of nowhere and you got service, it's nice to know you can call somebody. There is some security in that. Texting while driving, I'm going to say it, young women, stupid, selfish. It is illegal and you shouldn't be doing it. People buying $600-700 phones or more, stupid, wasteful, pointless. And then you drop it, and then you lose it. I can't justify it. $45 a month, I can talk to anybody around the world right here. By the way, that Straight Talk does not cover international. For those of you expats and people that want to chat overseas, or you met a pretty young woman over there on the internet, in a chat room or whatever, go get a Penny Talk card online, and it's free. You just order it, I'll send it to your mail, and then you load it with as much as you want. Use your credit card and add $25. It is 1.5 cents a minute to call Hong Kong on that, and I think it's a 20 or 40 cent connection charge. But if you talk for an hour, it's well worth it. It is the cheapest phone deal you can get. Now, Philippines and other countries are going to be higher. I don't call the Philippines. Philippines is too expensive. But Hong Kong, 1.5 cents a minute? Shoot. Long distance rates in the U.S. aren't even that low. But $45 a month for straight talk, unlimited local long distance in the U.S., text and talk, that's a pretty good deal. You see, I use this phone to communicate to people. I don't need to get on the internet with this. I cannot believe when I was up in Virginia, Minnesota, a guy came to buy a bunch of Hot Wheels and stuff from me, and he told me that his daughter ran up an $800 cell phone bill. And I said, dude, really? And he said, yeah. And I said, so you going to pay for that? He says, well, I have to. These teenagers are running up bills like you wouldn't believe. $800 in talking. And what's ironic? All her friends are in a town of 9,000 people. You can't go over their house and talk. We're going to charge $800 for that. I remember in Spokane when I was driving the school bus at one of the high schools. The kids were talking, or they were using their cell phones to text each other on the school bus. I was like, wow. I think that most Americans, they claim to be shy and bashful. I don't believe that, by the way. I think that's a smokescreen. They use technology because they're fearful. They hide behind a monitor. They hide behind a cell phone. And I've noticed something when I've walked out there, and it's just me and another woman passing each other. Men, I want you to comment, man, how many times you've seen this. I'm not ogling a woman. I'm just minding my own business. A woman comes towards me, and just before she gets within close enough range to acknowledge me, She reaches in, pulls out her phone, and starts going like this. I've noticed something. A lot of women today, they're afraid. So they use their cell phone as their security blanket. It's pretty sad, pretty pathetic. I've noticed this. I've noticed this so much that I can make the generalization. You sit at a bus stop now, you sit anywhere, you can't strike up a conversation. They bury themselves in their little social whatever. It's sad. I remember days where I used to sit at a bus stop and strike up conversation with just about anybody. And you know what? I learned a lot that way. You ask me how I know about people? Because I find out about people. Whether it's a homeless guy, whether it's a Vietnam vet, whether it's some pretty lady waiting to go to the office, I talk to everybody. Except people who had body language that clearly was like, don't talk to me. That's how I learn about people. I'm a student of people. So my comments on cell phones is this. Be prudent, be reasonable. When you drive, little girls, could you please stop texting? If you really need to text, maybe you shouldn't be driving that day. Sit home and text to your heart's content. I never thought I'd get a cell phone. I've got one. I use it all the time. Never thought I'd text. I thought, well, that's dumb. Why would I want to sit there and go dit just to get the letter C? Well, guess what? I'm texting. Why? Because that's the way it is today. I don't text and drive. That's insane. I don't text when my bus is on or running at all. I text on my layovers, and I'm not in the driver's seat doing it. I'm sitting in the other seat, so I'm not even in the cockpit, so to speak. That's legal, by the way. CDL vehicles in Colorado, you're not even supposed to be on the phone unless you have a headset, because some companies, their dispatch method is through cell phones issued by the company. But in order to talk with your hands, truck has to be pulled over off the roadway with the engine shut off and the key in your pocket. That's the way I understand it, or it's a big fine. I see semi-truck drivers shifting 18 gears, and they're on these cell phones, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, not good. I tell you what, there's only so much we can do when we're driving. Rather than ramble on and on, I think the whole cell phone craze to get these expensive, latest, doodads is a bit much. I mean, what do we really need? I use the phone to talk. I use my internet for internet. And when I get out there in my world every day, I try to connect with real people. I don't need to connect through Verizon, though the phone is nice to keep in touch. And I do like to talk. I do a lot of talking. That's why $45 a month is a deal for me. I'm not into paying $100, $200, $300 a month for cell phone. Shoot, you start adding that up, people, you go on a nice vacation across the world. Think about it. If you're spending $300 a month on your phone, and you take $250 off of that a month, how much do you have at the end of the year? You go on a nice cruise. You go to Hong Kong. You go to Europe. But we're going to waste it on all the gadgets on our cell phone and internet service? Sheesh, what a waste. The specific thoughts on the matter. For those of you that are texting, stop it. For those of you that are not paying attention driving, realize you can't multitask. Hang up the phone, pay attention to your driving, then talk at the end of your route. Have a great day. Bye-bye.